everybody, it's Christine. It's time for day 2 of series 10 of 30 days of sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And I'm going to do this guy right here. This is by Maggie Blethen. And it's got 2 photos. Now, these are 2 vertical photos. They look like 4x6s. I squinched mine down a little bit, and mine's one of them's horizontal and one's not. So I'm really going rogue a bit here. She's got some florals coming here. And then there's a couple of like horizontal tag things. And I'm reading these as like little circular elements. Of course, the title, journaling over here. I'm going to have to do, and oh, the other thing is these squares, right? So she's kind of got, I don't know, you could use a cut file or something. I think I'm going to end up using a marker, if I'm honest, because I don't have cut files or anything like that. What I've pulled out is the, I think it's July. Let me double check. Yes, July 2022 hip kit. And I pulled it out because I have this cool, like, sunrise looking thing. And they are, this is the pictures. My husband and my daughter at Yellowstone National Park, and it is sunrise. I'm kind of sad there's little tail lights in here, but it's okay. It's fine. But it is sunrise. You can almost see the sun. You know, it's really early in the morning. And I'm thinking I'm going to do them. That's where the pictures are going to go. I do need to mat them, so I pulled this little orange piece out. I'm going to mat them on that. I don't know if I'll double mat. We'll see, because I want to use this paper here. So I'm going to kind of create, I'm going to shrink it just a little, but I'm going to create a spot where the photos, where it kind of looks like they're horizontal both. Or I don't know how to explain it, but you'll see what I'm talking about when I do it. But basically, I'm going to do something like this with matted photos. So I'm going to create kind of this horizontal, or like a block here. But I do want a little smaller so the sun shows a little better. I also have this map, and so that's the other reason I kind of want to put this as a block, because I want to put this map behind it as a pocket. And then I do have, you know, a bunch of ephemera. Now, unfortunately, a lot of these are kind of westerny, but I think I can still use like this Wild and Happy would be cute, I think, on here. Or there's, ooh, this is nice, Wanderlust, Fly High. I just noticed that, y'all, and I've had this thing a month. I'm crazy. Lots of ephemera. I do have these little flag things over here. I don't know if I'm going to use them. And of course, I can cut horizontal things out of anything. So anyway, this is my starting point. Let me get started. I'm going to trim some stuff down and kind of get this prepped. And I'll come back on when I start gluing some stuff down here. All right, talk soon. Hey, everybody. Really quick check-in because I am bringing in another piece of paper. This is a wood grain from Reminisce. I picked this up at convention, and it looks like it's from... Well, I thought it had the year on here, and I don't see it. It was in just like a bin that I picked out individual papers. So I really like this because it goes with the, well, in my mind it does. There's the wood sign here. And then this has like some browns and stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to introduce this wood grain here. And plus I wanted to back this here. So I did scuff the edges of my little paper, of my little picture mats here. So I'm going to go ahead and, I did trim this down just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and finish trimming this off and scuffing it. And then I'm going to start gluing stuff down. And I may use this wood grain as well, kind of up here where she had the other little element of stuff. So let me get started on that and we'll talk soon.
All right, so the first thing I actually realized I need to do is put my squares on there. I sat there and said I was going to do all that photo block, which I do trim it down and everything, but I realized I have to do these little squares first. So I'm going to do the first square is just kind of a normal square, right? You just kind of put that over the top, just inside the border. I probably should have measured it. I kind of measured a little bit using my little cutting mat here. So it's not perfect, but it's kind of close, right? It's kind of comes in, I guess it comes in about a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to make a square using my T-square here. The second little square, though, gets tilted, and you'll see me kind of do that in a minute. This first one here, I'm just kind of doing with my little brush pen. Now, this pen I pulled out of I call it my pen bag. I have a big old bag that I have a bunch of pens in. I used to do bullet journaling, so I have tons of pens. And this one is like a gold metallic marker, brush pen, whatever you want to call it. It's like a paint, but it's really a marker. So I don't know if it's actually paint or... It's not paint, but it's like a... kind of an opaque, maybe that's what I'm trying to say. It's an opaque marker with gold paint or gold color. And I really like it. I think this looks so pretty on this paper, this gold shimmer. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of tilting the paper, and I'm trying to make sure when I do draw the line that it's going to end up looking tilted on the paper like the sketch. So then I thought to myself, oh, okay, I got to have it parallel though. So be careful, Christine. Don't go too far off, right? I got to make it match the opposite side. So I think I look at this about 4 times before I go, let me put the pen down and start, look, see, I'm thinking about it. Do I put the pen down? Do I put the pen down? I finally just go for it, Christine. Just do it. There you go. So I did that, and I'm going to come back on the sides over here, and I'll end up with those 2 squares that I mentioned. Again, I think if you're doing the sketch, you could probably use either a cut file or something else, maybe even gut pieces of paper or something, but I just decided with a marker because it was going to be a little easier for me to mess with. And I really do actually like this gold shimmer on this paper. It looks really pretty. So I'm done with that. I'm going to figure out now my little photo block here. I'm a little sad I'm covering up most of my sun and my little mountainy looking things, but by the same token, I like it. Now, I almost messed up, y'all. I started putting my ATG on the back of this thing, and then I realized just before I did it, oh gosh, no, this is supposed to be a pocket. So I had to get out my double-sided tape to make the actual pocket part. And thankfully, I remembered in time because that would have hurt my feelings if I hadn't. Because the whole point of this thing was to stick that map behind that pocket there. So I'm going to lay this down, and I will test my map in just a second. I'm going to make sure it fits and, it can go in and out and all that kind of stuff. But first, I'm going to glue my photos down here. And I don't put any foam behind these. I thought about it, but with the map and everything, it does create some dimension. I test it here, make sure it's going to fit. I don't leave it in here, though, as I'm working because it does create it creates a little bit of bulk, and I don't want to do that while I'm working on it. So I'll set it to the side for the moment, but I know that it fits, so I'm happy. I decide the title is going to be, well, part of the title. I'll actually I'll add some stuff in a minute, but it says Wild and Happy. I don't know that they're really wild, although I guess I think they're kind of wild. They do all this hiking, and they're a little bit crazy about it, so I guess this is appropriate, Wild and Happy. I set that there. I'm going to have to move it, though, because, y'all, again, I didn't think about that. If I was trying to stick my map in there, I couldn't do it because the Wild has sticky on the back of it, so I'll end up moving that. But I also find this little, I don't know, I guess it's an eagle, like a bird or something, and it's got some stuff about, open spaces or something, I think. And then the upper that's a chipboard piece. And then the upper left there, I also have another chipboard piece. It's got the year on it, and I wanted that on there because it does have the year on it. Now, in the sketch, it has like these horizontal elements, and I thought at first I could use that desert like pattern paper, but it's just too skinny and it doesn't look right. So I ended up pulling back this wood grain again, and I like how this looks. I'm going to end up making a little pointed arrow on the end of it with my scissors here in a second. Oops, turned on my light there. I'm going to end up putting that up there. I'm glad I didn't trim that down too much, though, because I end up using basically the whole thing. I'll trim the little arrow here, and then I'll lay it back down, and I'll end up creating a whole little cluster up there. Now, this is a little bit rogue from the sketch. If you remember the sketch, I have, I think there's a bunch of florals and stuff, and I don't really have that, but that's okay. I think this turns out pretty neat. It looks good for my theme. So I've got that little piece of wood up there. I'm going to start going through this ephemera now because I'm thinking, okay, I could put something up there along with that little piece of chipboard. And I find this bigger circle, which also says something about, I think it says something about wide open spaces or something. I'm sorry, it's a little bit tiny on my screen. And I'm not looking at the layout in person, so I forget exactly what it says. But I kind of like that round there, and I'm thinking, okay, there's got to be something else in here I can use. And I find that, and I like that little phrase there. I think that says, no, that says wide open spaces and something about a heart. So I don't remember what the other one says, but I like this whole little set right here. I think it all looks really pretty together. I'm thinking I'm messing with that little piece of chipboard there. I don't think I figured out just yet that Wild and Happy can't go there, but I will in a minute. So here's where I'm just kind of organizing this little piece of wood grain paper up here and how can I make this look. And I really like that chipboard on the left side of that other circle. So I'm going to make this work in just a second. And at first, I think I'm going to trim off the end of that little wood grain, but then I realized, no, I want that to come all the way in because I do have that little phrase there. And I like how this all looks. So I'm going to end up leaving that like that. It'll get glued down a little better, spacing and all that, but that's where that's going to go. And now we're going to put our little paper hearts. I do end up putting 3 paper hearts on the right side and the 1 paper heart up there in the upper left. And I start putting that other one up there, but it gets moved. I'm going to have 3 on the other side. And I think in a second is where I realize, Christine, you can't put the title there because you got to put your map behind it. So I start with it down there, and then I'm looking at the sketch, though, and I realize the title goes across the top of the photo block. So in just a second, I'm going to end up moving that little bit there up over the photo block. See, there I go. And I go, that makes more sense according to the sketch, right? Because she's got the title going across the top of the little photo block. And so I'm just going to organize these hearts, though. I'd struggle at first because the one little heart is almost the same color as the papers, but I'll make it work in a second. All right, so I'm going to glue down my little wood grain piece, and I got my little circle elements here, and I will put that phrase right there up on foam tape It just needs to have something extra because I got the chipboard piece on the left side. I don't know why I'm fussing with this so much, but it's got to be just so, you know what I mean? Also, I haven't glued it down. So anyway, I'm going to put some foam tape behind that in just a second. Here we go. Now, these pictures, I think I mentioned to you, they had gone to Yellowstone and they were just having their picture taken. I got to give these guys credit, my family. They know I want these darn pictures for my scrapbook, so they do a good job. They didn't used to. I'll be honest with you. They didn't used to, but I fussed at them enough. I'm like, if you go on these trips, I need pictures. The only one I haven't been able to get that they didn't do such a good job is they did do a little horseback riding excursion one day, and they got no pictures with them horses. And I cannot believe that. I was utterly shocked that they didn't get any pictures. I was so annoyed because I have this whole kit here that would have been perfect, but all right, it's okay. They did a good job otherwise. There's lots of other pictures I have to work with. So depending on when you see this, I may have done other layouts at this point with some of their trip pictures, but I don't know when you're going to see this, and I don't know what I'm going to do between now and then, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to use a little Nuvo glue to glue my little paper hearts down here. And again, this is where I'm kind of struggling with this one particular heart. The color almost matches the color I was laying on, so I have to move around a little bit, but I finally figured it out. And I'm going to glue this one down, and that's pretty much what I'm going to do here. I'm kind of looking at it, and I'm thinking, okay, is there anything else on this chipboard I can use? I do find this little arrow, and I like it, so I set it down. And then I look again. I'm kind of looking. I'll set it to the side. I think I got all the ephemera. And then I decide, you know what, I'm going to put some more title words here because it says wild and happy. So I'm going to spell out, I think I spell it they are. Is that what I'm spelling out? Y'all, this is so tiny. Yeah, they are. I spell out they are wild and happy. So I like this little font. It's a Pebbles font. And I just grabbed it from my stash. It didn't come with a kit or anything, but I had it and I thought it looked kind of, you know, it looks like it matches the mood and feel, I guess is the right term. The mood and feel of the layout. So I'm just going to put this, they are wild and happy. And I think this looks more like the sketch anyways because her title was going across the whole top of the photo block. And I'm going to just kind of fix this up. And I got these two little hats too. Now these hats, honestly, y'all, don't really go per se with the layout because it's not like they're wearing hats, you know, or anything like that. But it was a pink and a blue one. I thought, okay, it's kind of girl and boy or whatever. And plus it kind of filled in that space above that photo. So I went ahead and used it. I figure sometimes, you know what, the ephemera don't have to go exactly with the theme. It'll be all right. So I'm kind of looking at it, and I do decide in the sketch there's journaling on the left-hand side of the photos. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and add the lines with this little gold marker. So I will add my little journaling lines. I don't get them spaced evenly exactly, but again, this is kind of a rustic layout. So I'm thinking it's okay. They don't have to be perfect. I use the ruler. I just kind of make these lines on here. And I'm going to end up just basically journaling that this is a bucket list item for them to have gone to Yellowstone. I think for a lot of people, this could be a bucket list item. I mean, at this point, I still haven't gone, so I think that'd be really cool. If I could just get them to slow down just a little bit, I would do it. I do hope to do it at some point. My husband and I talk about, like, when we retire, we'll go do it because he'll be a little bit slower, and maybe I can keep up. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I draw those lines. I do the little bit of journaling, and then I also decide I'm going to go get some gold spray. So I end up pulling out this, I think it's Lindy's Stamp Gang. I'm pretty sure it's Lindy's Stamp Gang. Just a little bit of gold. And I just sprinkle that around, and I like how that looks. So that's all I'm going to do this layout, y'all. Let me see if I can bring it up close here for you to see. There's the journaling. You can see that. And you can see the various different little pieces, the shimmer and that sort of thing. And remember, I do have that mat behind that pocket there. So I was really happy with that as well. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. This is 30 Days of Sketches, so make sure you watch every day. I should have a video every day if I've done as according to plan here. So don't forget to check out the playlist and check out Instagram. All right, talk soon. Bye-bye.